talk us through when Harry Redknapp took over and he became Spurs manager, because it was yourself and Tim Sherwood that were effectively then his right-hand men. Can I say that?
Yeah, to a degree. When we came in, we came in as first team coaches. He brought us in as first team coaches, but there was a lot of coaches around. There was Joe Jordan, there was Kevin Bond and Clive Allen were around the first team at the time. So we're doing little bits and pieces. So I remember saying to Tim, "Look, mate, I'm not sure this is quite working out the way I want it to work out." And then he said to me, "Why don't we take over the under-21s?" So we said, "All right." I said, "Yeah, that might be good." And so myself, Tim and Chris Ramsey came up, who Chris was doing the under-14s or the 13s at the time. He came up and we took over the 21s, which, you know, entailed quite a few players that went on to play for Spurs and, you know, had careers in not just the Premier League but the Football League as well, which when I look back, based on the amount of players that went on and had careers, I was really, really proud of the fact that so many players came out of that academy and went on to play football. Because
is that where you first came across that Harry Kane?
Yeah, Harry was, you know, part of that. And the truth is, if we hadn't taken over that 21s team, Harry would just been another statistic that had walked out that door. You know, we kept pushing for him to be in the side. We could see that what he had. You know, he'd gone on loan a few times, scored some goals, and not all the loans that he went out were successful. And I remember him coming back from Leicester, and that wasn't really a successful loan period. But he came back and he had the bit between his teeth, and it was like something clicked in his head that he got sent back from Leicester, and that was a real turning point for him. He started coming in. He was the first one in, and he would do a training session in the morning before the actual group came in. And then once he'd done the training session, he was back in the gym again in the afternoon, and then you just saw the transformation. You know, a couple of times he played in a few European games. Europa League games, and probably fluffed his lines. And then we took over, and then he got into the side and just never looked back. And we look at him now and think, wow, what a player he was, but he would have been another one that just would have gone out the door. For sure.
Well, thank God you were there, as I'm sure Tottenham fans are probably thinking.